I just finished explaining adjective conjugations in the worst way possible, I'm going to move on to verb conjugations. Verbs are a little bit more difficult, mainly because I don't know what verbs you've learned. I don't know what level you're at. I don't know if you learned informal first or formal first, but when you learn verbs, first you gotta kind of know some and memorize some, like suru, taberu, okiru, I don't know, hashiru, tanoshimu, kaeru, otoru, yeah, stuff like that. So first you have to be a little bit familiar with Japanese, and then you have to know how to go from formal to informal. And then when you get an informal, you have to know how to go from te form or ta form or te iru form, or there's a whole bunch of different things you could do with those. But I'll just start off with arranging verbs in their different categories, because there's actually 3 types of verbs. If you were mad about 2 types of adjectives, well, there's 3 types of verbs. And that's because they're all conjugated differently. So I think I'll just do that right now. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Why does everyone keep bothering me today? Okay. I have to erase this first. Okay. Verbs. That's all I wrote. I figured I don't want to write too much because it kind of gets in the way of learning if you think about it too much, Alright. So I'm going to write 3 types. Okay. There are, we have what's called ru-verbs. I think those are the easiest. And then we have, I'll go over here. We have, wait a minute. U-verbs. Okay, you know what? I haven't used this for a while. What are they called? I'll just call them iru or eru verbs. Okay, that's just what I'm going to call them. And then we have the special verbs. That's not the name of them, but I'll just call them special verbs. Okay. Okay, then iru eru verbs would be the easiest. Oh, now I remember. There's ru-verbs, u-verbs, and something else. But this is fine. Actually, I'll call these u-verbs. U-verbs, okay. See, I changed it to edu, and these are called ru-verbs sometimes. Or some people call these class 2 verbs, class 1 verbs, class 1 verbs, and then class 3 verbs. But, it doesn't matter. Just know why there's 3 types. Okay. So here's an example of a iru, eru, or ru-verb. Okiru. This can mean to happen, or it can mean to wake up. This one, if you spell it out, it's O-K-I-R-U. You see how it's iru at the end? right there. Okiru. Well, that makes it this kind of type of verb. And then there's taberu. I just had a big whiff of this marker. I felt like I was dying. Okay. Taberu means to eat. Okay, so that's all I can think of right now for iru edu verbs. But this one ends in edu, so that's why it's in this category. And this one ends in iru, so that's why it's in that category. Okay. Yeah. I don't like this light. It needs to go away. There we go. I need to pull this over a little. Okay, u-verbs. Let's see. These ones are pretty much almost all the other verbs. They can't end in iru or edu, like over here. This ends in iru, this ends in nu. They're pretty much all the ones that don't end like that. So, asobu. That means to play, or it can mean to hang out. Tanoshimu. That means to enjoy or have fun. Utau. That means to sing, my favorite verb. Kaku. I mean, there's just like so many of them. It's pretty much almost all Japanese verbs. Shinu. That means to die. Kiku. Wait. Okay. Yeah. Kiku. This means to listen. And so on and so forth. So yeah, you see there's not really any sort of pattern with these. They don't end in iru or edu. This one ends in bu, this one ends in mu, this one ends in u, this one ends in ku, so it's kind of random. And then this one, this one's pretty easy, the special verbs, because there's only two of these. Here's my red marker. Okay. The special ones are suru. This means to do. And the other one is kuru. This means to come. So, if you're playing tennis, you might say tenisu o suru. That means I will do tennis or I will play tennis. And if you're, let me think. If your friend wants you to come to their house, they might say, watashi no ie ni kite kudasai. That's not a good example. Okay. Watashi no watashi no ie ni kuru. They will come to my house. So it means to come in that sense. Okay. So, yeah, I guess that's all I could do for now. Just remember, no matter what the name, it doesn't matter what the name is, but there's a type of verbs where they end in iru and edu. That's important to remember because they're going to be conjugated a certain way. And then there's pretty much all the other verbs in Japanese which they don't have any specific ending. They're just like that. And then there's the special verbs, suru and kuru. Okay? So practice verbs, you'll have some memorizing to do, and try and get familiar with informal verbs like dictionary form. Okay. Thank you for listening, and I cut my hair. Thanks.